Hey there, my name is Waddles. So, I was just working on a completely different video actually, and this idea came into my head. Today, we're going to look at 5 things that should be in the 1.14 update. Now, these are all things that I think would be cool to be in the update. These aren't things that actually have been announced or anything like that, so don't get the wrong idea at all. These are just my ideas, and I think all of these would be cool to see. Go down below in the comments and drop one thing that you'd like to see happen in the Village and Pillage update. It could be anything. And if you enjoy this list video, drop a like and I will be sure to make more list style videos. But let's just start off our list at the first spot, and that is with the Lectern. Now, this is an idea that I've actually seen quite a bit of. A lot of people have different ideas as to what the Lectern should do and shouldn't do. I think it would be cool to have the Lectern have the ability to post messages to chat. So let's say somebody comes up and, reads a book or something and finishes the book. Maybe a message is sent over to the chat, maybe continuing something or telling the player where to go next. I see the Lectern as a very, very useful thing for like a storyline mechanic. Maybe you're building a map or something and you have books, to carry the story along or something like that. Now, another thing that I've seen people say about the Lectern is the fact that it should display a text in the middle of the screen, and I think that would totally be cool as well. Now, how do I think all of this should be done? I believe the Lectern should work similar to a note block. Whatever the Lectern does would be dependent upon which block is directly beneath the Lectern. As you probably know, note blocks make different sounds when they are on different types of materials. This could be pretty much copied over for the Lecterns. So maybe when the Lectern sits on glass, it displays a text on the middle of the screen, and then when it sits on stone, it does a chat thing. And then maybe if the Lectern is on dirt or something, it can send a redstone signal to something. I don't know, just different things like that. I think that could be really cool and make amazing use of the Lectern while still kind of fitting with things. I think it would be cool to see that whole block thing done with wool, because we have this little stripe here, so maybe red wool, green wool, blue wool, and so on. It all does different things, but that would be really, really cool to see. Moving on. This next idea is really, really straightforward. I think absolutely everybody would want this, but lanterns that can hang off of walls somehow. So right here I use the debug stick to get the lantern hanging, because usually it wouldn't really do this, but we should totally have a way to hang lanterns off of walls. Maybe we need to craft like a lantern mount or something, anything, right? So we can hang these things off of walls, or even if we could hang them off of iron bars connected to the wall, like that would be really, really nice. See, I mean, right now we could do nether fences and stuff, but it just doesn't really match the whole iron feel, right? So like, not cutting it. No, but really, these should totally be able to be hung off the side of the wall. And like I said, maybe we need a new recipe for this. We could use maybe 2 ingots and a nugget, or who knows, just some kind of something to let us hang lanterns off of the side of walls. Because as soon as we can do that, lanterns are hands down the best lighting source in the game. So, try to stick with me on this one. I think this idea might be a little polarizing, but Stonecutter should totally damage things. You see, we have the spinning blade here, and that doesn't look safe, does it? Right? Like, it looks dangerous, and then I, walk on it, and nothing happens, of course. And then I flip into survival just to show you, and yep, still nothing. It's just an animation. But, this looks dangerous, right? So, I believe that this should deal some damage, maybe like the magma block does to things that are on top of it. So any living thing that, would be cut open, so a zombie, a pig, a player, this saw should totally damage those things. Now, of course, this thing couldn't have an infinite durability, so I would recommend or suggest a system kind of like we have for the anvil. Perhaps over time the Stonecutter breaks slowly, and then it eventually will totally break after, maybe dealing so much damage. Now, of course, this wouldn't be the main functionality of the Stonecutter block, because that would be kind of lame, but it would be a use for it. I could see this block then being used for farms, or killing things, or whatever. And again, a spinning blade. Yeah, that looks dangerous, right? Like, that looks dangerous. This next thing on the list is another pretty agreeable one. I don't think anybody would really disagree with this one. Dispensers with shears in them should totally be able to harvest vines. In case you haven't heard yet, dispensers can shear sheep when shears are in them now, which is totally awesome. But it doesn't stop with the vines. If dispensers with shears in them could harvest vines, it would only make sense for that mechanic to be expanded elsewhere. So maybe these shear dispensers can harvest up leaves, right? Like just breaking leaves. And of course, these shear dispensers would definitely need to be able to carve pumpkins. Now, in reality, are all of these features really crazy useful? No, not really. The vine one definitely is, but the other two, maybe not. It would just be something that kind of makes sense, right? Like, if this can shear a sheep, why can't it do this, right? Like, it doesn't really make sense anymore. And not that everything has to, but this would be so nice for vine farms. And finally, the fifth idea. Now, this idea is probably my favorite one. Just like the Stonecutter idea, I haven't seen this idea anywhere, and I hope it's a new idea because that would be really cool. But dispensers with axes in them should be able to strip logs, right? This is kind of copying the whole new shear mechanic with the dispenser and carrying it over to the axe. If a dispenser can now shear sheep, why can't a dispenser strip logs? Now, if this thing was a mechanic, of course, we could set up a machine, like maybe a tree farm, and then it moves the log over in front of the dispenser. The log gets stripped, and then this log moves forward, and of course, we could push another one in, right? And, keep going with that process. And then, of course, we would be able to farm stripped wood. Now, this is an interesting one because we have different axe variants, of course. We have a wooden axe, a stone, an iron, a gold, and a diamond axe. So, I believe the axes should definitely lose or use durability when in the dispenser. So, then, of course, if you get a diamond axe in the dispenser, it will last a long time. And if you use a wooden one, it won't last very long at all. However, to make better use of this mechanic here, perhaps the durability of the axe is doubled or even tripled. And just something to make this an actual thing that people would really want to use for whichever reason. Now, of course, this would work when the dispenser is powered, but, yep. Just shoots an axe out right now, and, yep, But those are 5 different things that I would really like to see in the 1.14 update. What do you think? What is one thing that you would like to see in the 1.14 update? Tell me that down below. Of course, the update is still in development, so who knows? Maybe one of these features gets into the update, and if that is the case, I would be very, very happy. Thank you very much for watching, though. My name is Waddles. I'll have a playlist on the end slide in just a few moments with some 1.14 content. Leave a like if you liked the video, subscribe if you haven't yet, and then go have a good day. Thanks for watching. I will see you next time. Goodbye, everybody.